I use the small one so I can move the big one out of the way? Is that fine? If I'm too soft or if I'm a bit boring, just let me know. I'll change the topic. So this is fantastic. I've enjoyed every moment of everyone's speech from the Qira. Qira was first class, Bukhari. To all the speakers, it's inspiring. This is inspiring to me. And this community needs to grow with this. And I want to be a part of that growth, inshallah. This is absolutely wonderful. And it's an honor for me to be here in your beautiful, you're full of noor. This place is full of light. It's small. Uncle always tells me it's not numbers because there were a few at Badr. So we'll grow, inshallah. You know, this, for us, all this started, Wahi starts when the Prophet ﷺ was in that cave, Ghari Hira. We call it, because we Indian or whatever, our culture is Hira, but it was Ghari Hira, that cave. And he was so traumatized by the inspiration that he received, this angel talking, telling him read, that he runs down, he rushes from the mountain top down, and to his beloved wife, Sayyida Khadija. And we call her Sayyida because we love the Prophet, so we honor her. And what she does is she tells him, you are not possessed because you are a person of character and a person who looks after the poor and a person who loves people and a person who is trusted. And she puts a cloak over him. That symbol is so important of that cloak that she puts over him. Because later on, years later, Allah reveals a verse. هُنَّ لِبَاسٌ لَكُمْ وَأَنْتُمْ لِبَاسٌ لَهُنَّ. The women are your garments and the men are your garments. And she was that garment before that verse was revealed. Therefore she earns the title of Kubra, the great woman. She was his source of rahmah. Some scholars would say that she embraced the message before him because he was in doubt there. That is a woman. We were brought up by our sheikhs. I spent 10 years with Shaykh Ahmad, Shaykh Seraj. Shaykh Ahmad is our sheikh. Shaykh Seraj is in public, Shaykh Ahmad is included. He is our sheikh. This is a deen of rahmah, it's a deen of love. I'm not all too well, so if I stop for water, I had injections yesterday, I've missed one talk, so I just think I need a bit of water. If I don't stuck a bit, I'm going to drink some water. This Quran we know is it's a huda. It's a huda, it's a guidance. But it's a huda. Not a bid'ah if I stand and drink it. I have enough proofs to that. It's a huda given to a rahmatan lil alamin. It's a guidance given to a mercy to creation. We have to read the Quran as a guidance to a mercy. And that mercy came to the entire created order. We are so stressed out with haram and jahannam and how punished we're going to be and everything. We forget that every act we do is embraced with mercy. Before I drink that water, I say Bismillah in the name of Allah with mercy and compassion. And then I swear at the person next to me. What's the point of we become robots in what we are doing? If the men don't scream at me because I can't help it that the word rahmah comes from the word rahim, womb. It comes from the womb. In fact, in the Quran we are told, Ittaqullahu alladhi tasa'alun, or in another qira'ah which I've studied, tasa'alun. Reverence your Lord, whom you ask so many questions of. Wal arham, and the wombs that bore you. The wombs are mentioned in one ayah with Allah. Do we ever have taqwa or do we reverence our women? The Prophet reverenced his lady Sayyida Khadija because she was his garment. We have banned pictures, so we can't see these pictures and symbols in the Quran. That a garment is there to protect the next person. That garment protects, my wife's garment protects my shame. She protects my shame, my honor. She makes me look beautiful in front of people. She is my world. And I am that to her, I hope so. Because I can't even fry anything, she cooks everything for me. I can fry an egg and make mini sticks. You know, Ibn Arabi, the great Ibn Arabi, whom we've banned from our lives, says that you have come from dust. So your origin is dust. And you walk on dust every day, but dust is your mother. So remember where you came from and trod over gently and with humility at least, because that's where you came from. You know, my time is limited. I've been given a limited time to speak, and I don't think I'm going to go overboard to be able to catch a flight to catch today. But I want to stress over a few points. The Prophet ﷺ as a rahmah, as a mercy. And why we miss these points is because we've become, not all of us, but we focus so much on the hadith, but we ignore the Sirat, and we strip the context completely. And we make this Prophet into a Prophet of malhama, of oppression, instead of a Prophet of marhama, of rahmah. We were taught that this deen is a deen of rahmah, and we have to focus on that because mercy is a strength. And I want to be involved, inshallah, when you grow, because you are going to grow. This is a Mubarak, a blessed initiative. And I would have spoken more if I was 100% at Jummah, but I was totally depleted, and I just said what I could. I couldn't make it for the evening talk. An hour before the talk Friday night, I cancelled. And I had to have sabr to tell people I can't make it because I'm letting 20 or 30 people down. And they have to have sabr on my turn. We need to encourage each other with sabr, because we can only go forward with sabr. This deen, human beings can only go forward with sabr. We need to give each other hope with sabr, because we are an ummah of sabr. We should be one. Kana yakhtub, the Prophet is giving a khutbah. I want you to picture him on the minbar. It was the day of Jumu'ah. وَرَأَى الْحَسَنَ أَوْ الْحُسَيْنِ, and he sees either of these two young boys coming in front of him, either Hassan or Hussein. قَطَعَ الْخُطْبَةِ, he stops his khutbah. Can you imagine an imam today stopping his khutbah for children, for his family? This is Mustafa, this is the greatest human being that ever lived. He stops his khutbah. And it is a rukun, the greatest integral, the symbols, the signs of Jumu'ah. فَنَزَلَ, he gets off from the minbar. لِيَحْتَضِنَ الْحَسَنَ أَوْ الْحُسَيْنِ فِي صَدْرِهِ, and he hugs and embraces them. This is the Prophet that I love and that I'm sure you love. Not the robot, not me as a robot standing on the minbar as a soldier commanding everybody to follow what I'm saying, but a symbol of mercy and compassion coming down and embracing and hugging children. That is my Prophet, sallallahu alayhi wasallam, and he is my Sayyid, and why I'm proud to call him Sayyidina, sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Bismillah. When we say Bismillah and we drink water, we are affirming and confirming that through the water my thirst is not quenched, but it is only Allah that has quenched my thirst. So in the name of Allah, through the name of Allah can my thirst be quenched. Therefore barakah descends upon the act. Because we are admitting the haqiqah, the reality of things. That the panado cannot take my headache away, it is only Allah. But He has ordered me to interact with that water and that panado, and therefore I follow this. His sunnatullah, and He puts blessings in there, and He quenches my thirst. That's what we should think like it. Everything works by and for and through Allah. Kana yusalli, he was performing salah once. وَجَاءَتْ Umama binti Zainab, and this young child, the granddaughter Umama, approaches him. You know what happens? فَرَقَبَتْ عَلَى ظَهْرِهِ, she jumps on his back. She actually jumps on his back. And what does he do? فَأَطَالَتْ السُّجُودِ, he prolongs his sujood. حَتَّى تَنْتَهِيَ مِنْ رَغْبَتِهَا فِي اللَّعِبِ أَثْنَاءَ الصَّلَاةِ. Why? So that she can finish her time playing on his back. And that is the Prophet I love. Not because she's irritating him, but because she deserves it. She is a child, that's what she does best, and she deserves to have the time to play. And then he gets up afterwards. You know, I've met some people here, you're wonderful people. I wanted to meet all the ladies, but the men might think I'm just So I should limit myself first. But I want to meet everybody afterwards, inshallah. I want to meet every single person here. Because you are a wonderful community doing this work. It's not about me, my father-in-law tells me, it's not about me, it's about what we can do. We need to work together. I can't do this alone. Shaykh Seraj cannot do this alone. We need people. I've spent 10 years with them and I've learned and grown up with them. They are my role models. And everything I say here is from them. And I attribute nothing to myself. It is from them. They are wonderful people. We make dua for Shaykh Ahmad, who's in hospital at the moment. Shaykh Ahmad, Shaykh Dar's brother had a heart attack, and he's the other half of it, keeping our community together. Sami'a marran wa huwa yusalli. Once when he was in prayer, he heard tiflun yabki, a baby crying. What does he do? He shortens his prayer because of the emotional state the mother is in. Just look at why he prolongs his prayer and why he shortens his prayer and why he stops his khutbah. Allah gives through gentleness what He does not give through roughness and coarseness. And He gave that through that rahmah, that softness, that mercy, that vessel of rahmah Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. His ruh was attached to Allah, not to the dunya. He had no motive, no material motive. You know, we want rahmah, but do we show mercy? We want forgiveness, but do we show forgiveness? Do we remind people of the verse which the Prophet taught us in the Quran? La taqnatu min rahmatillah. Don't ever give up in Allah's rahmah and His mercy. The door of repentance is open for everybody. But if I keep you a prisoner of the sin you committed your entire life, I am the greatest sinner, not you, because Allah has forgiven you. Are we little gods walking on this dunya? Are we that little gods here? Do we think we are gods? What has become of us if we can't forgive? Because we say Bismillah in the name of mercy and compassion in every step we take. But we become tyrants. We don't become abd servants, we become tyrants of our nafs. That's what we become. They say if the ruh, if the spirit is beautiful, the body will be beautiful in old age as well. But if the ego rules, the body becomes ugly even in youth. And we make our Jannah and our Jahannam here, right now on this dunya. Don't think that it's coming then. It's now. It depends what you do now to plant that seed for that Jannah and that Jahannam. We do it right now. We need to wake up and get up right now. We don't have to be extremists, but we need to think carefully. We need to find people to direct us and teach us and hold their hands tight and let them lead us. We become slaves of our nafs if we think we are our own sheikhs. We think we are our own guides. Because with yourself as a guide, you're lost. Jalaluddin Rumi said a 2-day journey can take you 200 years without the sheikh. I hope I said that right. You know, the standard of the shaitan is Ana khayrun minhum. I am better than him. He told Adam. He's created from clay, I'm created from fire. Ana khayrun minhum. I am greater than him. You might leave here one day after Jummah or sometime and come across this young guy in his car pumping his music at 100 volts or whatever, looking like he's the best guy out there, irritating 10 or 20 people, disturbing the community. But how will you perceive him? When you look at him with the eye of compassion and mercy and think to yourself, oh Allah, you just put me in a beautiful gathering, you taught me, you guided me, won't you please guide him and teach him and have mercy on him like you have mercy on me? What if you smiled at him and said Assalamu alaikum to him and looked at him with the eye of compassion? Don't you think it will touch his heart? Or you could go past there and think, I came from Jumu'ah, Jama'ah, Salah, I'm greater, I'm better than him. Look at this guy. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. There's a difference between ilmi Muhammadi and ilmi shaitani. Doesn't matter how much you salah, but you need to have that ruh, that spirit of love and mercy and compassion inside you. Iblis was obsessed with the outside. He was a literalist, obsessed with that pot of clay that he saw Adam. Jalaluddin Rumi says, if only Iblis looked through that pot of clay, you would have seen 100,000 rose gardens there. But he was a literalist, he was obsessed with clay. He was banned, sallallahu alayhi wasallam, from Makkah For 10 years he stayed in Medina. And every single year they would attack Medina. Every single year. He never had a break for 1 year. Now, not too well, so I've noted everything on the page. If you don't mind, I'm going to read from here. Okay. At the Battle of Uhud, it is narrated from the most authoritative sources I'm narrating. I didn't select any book, I found them anyway. We are taught to select the book with sanad chain links up to the Prophet, and we can't just read any books and distort this theme. So we hold tight to that chain link. That when his blood fell on Uhud, he saved every drip he could, out of fear that if the blood touched the floor, Allah would punish his enemies. That was our Prophet. Despite that, and he had a beautiful face. They say it is Wajhi al-Akram, the most honored face. There was nothing more honored to Allah than this noble face of Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. They told him, "O Muhammad, O Prophet, Ud'u Allahu alayhim ya Rasulullah. Won't you pray against them, O Prophet of Allah?" And he says, "I was not sent as a curse to my enemies." You know what he does to his enemies? He lifts up his hands, this Prophet, to his enemies, and he says, "Allahumma hdi qawmin, O Allah, guide them, my enemies. فَإِنَّكُمْ لَا يَعْلَمُونَ, because my enemies don't know what they are doing." That is a human being. إِنَّهُ إِنسَانٌ جَمِيلٌ. That is what we call a beautiful human being. إِنَّهُ حَبِيبُنَا. He is our beloved, because of the way he responded in difficulties. In fact, on the same day at Uhud, someone came and cursed Quraysh, son of so and son of so and son of so. And the Prophet said, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, "Do not curse Quraysh." And he says, "I curse them only for what they've done to you, O Prophet." And he says, "Tara minhum kunu fihim khayrin kada wa kada." I promise you, says the Prophet, you will see from them people who will come from them who will do such greatness, such and such greatness. He was a pinnacle in rahmah, in mercy and compassion and moderation to bring humanity to the truth. Sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And it is not surprising that shortly afterwards Allah revealed the verse, وَإِنَّكَ لَعَلَىٰ خُلُقٍ عَظِيمٍ. You, O Muhammad, are on the most exalted standard of character. And I love him for that. And we love him for that. Sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. At Ta'if, he was banned from Makkah, he was banned from Medina. They kicked him out from Makkah. He went to Ta'if in hope that he could spread the message a bit to some people. You know what happened there? They pelted him so bad that he fell down on the floor, bleeding. And what happened was they picked him up and they shoved him again. And they pelted him down a second time. And they picked him up a second time and they pelted him and pushed him till he fell down a third time. This is what happened to the Prophet. This is what he went through. We think we are only experiencing wars and difficulties now. Nobody went through what he went through, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And look at how he responded. Mercy is a strength, it's not a weakness. Forgiveness is a strength, it's not a weakness. Madness is not a strength. We need to differentiate between what is ilmi Muhammadi and ilmi Shaytani. And he stops at this tree, weak and depleted. And by the way, this boy comes with grapes at dusk, and he offers him the grapes. And he takes the grapes, and before he eats it, he says, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. And this boy says, "What in the world are you saying?" He says, "My Lord has commanded me, no matter what I've gone through, before I eat, I should remember him when I eat." And this boy bursts into tears and embraces Islam, the Christian boy. And the Prophet makes this dua, they're completely depleted. He says, "Allahumma ilayka ashku di'fi quwwati wa qillati hilati." Oh Allah, I complain to you of my own weakness. He did not complain of the stones. He did not complain of the people of Ta'if. He did not complain of the people of Makkah. He complains of himself, saying, "I am the one who is weak. It is me." He does not complain of the ugly manner. And Jibreel alayhi salam is sent to him to say, "O Muhammad, Allah has sent me with the angel of the mountains to crush the people of Ta'if at your order." First, the angel says, "Assalamu alaikum." And he says, "Inna Allah, verily Allah, sami'a radda qawmika alaykum." Allah has heard the rejection of your people. What should we do? Should we crush them? And he says, "No. Inni arju an yukhrij Allah min asabihim man tawalla hadhihi al-amr." It is my will that these people who have tormented me, that from their loins come people who will worship Allah. Just look at this. I may love one of you because I know you. The furthest I can go is that I might love your children who are not in this hall today. But can I love your children who are not yet born yet? This Prophet goes so far as to love the children of his enemies who are not yet born. Subhanallah, this is why he is Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alayhi wasallam, and why I am proud to call him my Sayyidina, my Sayyid, my chief. So they can tell us all they want in the mosque, stop saying Sayyid. I will say it because he's our Sayyid. They've banned it in lots of mosques. You hear in some mosques they say Nabiyina wa Muhammad. They don't say Sayyidina Muhammad. They're trying to rid us of our spirituality. But we'll remember him as our Sayyid, and his mother Amina as our Sayyida, and Fatima as Sayyida, and Khadija al-Kubra as our Sayyida, and his father Abdullah as Sayyid, and his father Abdul Muttalib as Sayyid, and his father what's the father Abdul Muttalib even? Hashim as Sayyid, and his father Abdul Manaf as Sayyid, because we love that family. We're sitting here with the symbols on our heads. Do you know what these are? These scarves and these pieces? It's a symbol that when I walk outside, do not worry, I don't think bad of you. What's the point if we really, you're not going to go there. It's a symbol that I don't think bad of you. And it's a symbol to tell me, don't look, because I'm covered. Don't let my eyes go there. But more than that, it is a symbol that don't worry, I have good thoughts of you. You know, I've met some of you here. What stops me from going home and thinking even better of you? Why can't I go home and say that lady was beautiful, or something, or that man, his character was beautiful? Why must I skin her, or like we say, or speak bad about him and home? Why? I'm talking to myself, I'm not preaching. Shaykh Seraj told us never to preach to people, but talk and advise, but advise yourself at the same time. The final fath of Makkah, there are 10,000 strong Muslims looking at the Quraysh. The Quraysh are defeated, there are rapists, there are people who murdered and maimed people. They are defenseless, and Abu Ubada is carrying this flag. And he walks in and he marches and he screams, Al-Yawm Yawmul Malhama, today is a day of slaughter. And the Prophet says, take the flag off him. And the Prophet stands at the door of the Kaaba and he asks the Quraysh, what do you think I will do to you today? And they say, O Prophet, O Muhammad, you are the son of the noble man. What will you do? And he says, today, Al-Yawm al-Marhama. Today is a day of Rahmah. He stood at the door of the Kaaba. The Prophet then said, I say to you what Yusuf alayhi salam said to his brothers, La tathrayba alaykum al-yawm. There will be no revenge on you today. Yaghfirullahu lakum. Allah has forgiven you all. Wa huwa arhamur rahim. Not me, He is the most merciful of those who showed mercy. This was the Prophet who forgave people who cut the liver out of his family and ate it in front of him. He forgave the last person. He is the pinnacle of rahmah, and we can only aspire to be there. We can never reach it, but which means our bar is always up there. We can try. But what happens after this is that this lady who's been separated for all these years from a baby, she sees a child, and the emotion is high, and she runs towards the baby, and she embraces the baby and hugs the baby. And these Sahaba are crying here, saying, Ya Umar and Uthman. And the Prophet tells them, do you see the rahmah and the mercy the baby has for a mother, the mother has for a child? And they say, yes. And the Prophet says, know that Allah's rahmah for His creation is greater than the mother's rahmah for her baby. That is how much He loves us, how much mercy He has for us. Ar-Rahimun yarhamuhumur Rahman. Those who have mercy, they will be shown mercy. Yurhamu man fil ard. Show mercy to those in the dunya. Yarhamukum man fis sama. And the one who owns the heavens will show mercy to you. I want to share something with you before I end, because I'm done talking. I think I made my point to stress with mercy. I brought 10 copies of these with you. This is an Ijazah. It's for one hadith which I'm going to narrate with a complete chain link from myself to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. It is a hadith, musalsal bil muhabba, the chain link of love, which has been passed on for 1,000 years. And then what we'll go afterwards, if there's time, because I have 10, we can write 4 or 5 names of you on here, around here, whatever, Amina, Muhammad, whatever, and then I'll sign it and we make copies and give it to that person. So we are together at least. Okay. Now this was given to me by numerous people. Shaykh Seraj, in the office, I sat one day with him and I tried to show off sometimes in front of him when I was alone, and I read it to him out of my head, and he took my head and he read it to me. Shaykh Ahmad gave it to me. I've heard this from Sayyid the Haddad family in Makkah, from the grandchildren of Sayyid Ahmad al-Haddad. I've been given by the hand of Sayyid Ahmad bin Muhammed bin Alawi al-Maliki in Makkah, from Shaykh Ahmad Qat'ani, from numerous ulama. I've heard this and received this. So likewise, I'm passing it on to you. And I narrate this from the ulama mentioned, and all of them narrate this from Sayyid Muhammad bin Alawi al-Maliki in Makkah. And he narrates this from three sheikhs, from his father, Sayyid Alawi al-Maliki, from Shaykh Hassan Mashal, and from Shaykh Yasin Fadani. I'm on camera, so I apologize to everyone who's going to watch this, and I'm drinking water all the time. I'm a bit dry. They all narrate from Shaykh Umar Hamdan, who was known as the Muhaddith al-Haramain al-Sharifain. He was the Muhaddith of both Makkah and Medina. Many of us don't know this, but Sayyid Abdul Qadir Jailani was the Muhaddith of the Haram for 7 years. He was an Imam Hadith. There's a famous saying of him, he said, La usul ila Allah, I never reached my Lord بقيام الليل, by praying all night, وصيام بالنهار, and fasting all day, ولكن وصول إلى الله, but I arrived to my Lord بخدمة الفقهاء, by serving the people of ilm. I served them, and that's how I found my Lord. We think the man stood all day with a tasbih making dhikr. He went out, he did what you are doing, making things happen. That's why this is a Mubarak thing that will grow, inshallah. Shaykh Umar Hamdan narrates from two sheikhs, Shaykh Falih al-Zahiri and Sayyid Ali al-Witri. Shaykh Falih al-Zahiri, he narrates from Sayyid Muhammad Ali bin Sanusi, who narrates from Shaykh Abdul Hafid al-Ujaymi. He narrates from Shaykh Abdul Ghafur al-Sindi, who walked from Sind, Park to Medina, became the Shaykh of Medina, the Wali of Medina. He narrates from a Shaykh called Ayyub bin Ali al-Namrasi al-Barlisi, who narrates from a Shaykh called Muammar Muhammad al-Bahuti al-Hanbali, who narrates from a Shaykh called Abdurrahman al-Bahuti. The Bahuti family are a well-known family in Egypt, and their books are prescribed in Qura to read the fiqh works. He narrates from the Shaykh of the Mi'raj, who wrote the most authoritative work, Shaykh Najmuddin al-Ghaiti, who narrates from the prince of this ummah, the Imam of the Shafi'iyya, Hafiz Jalaluddin as-Suyuti, who narrates from Shaykh, sorry, just confirm that I'm saying it right here, from Shaykh al-Tayyib Ahmad bin Muhammad al-Hijazi, from Qadi Majmuddin Ismail bin Ibrahim al-Hijazi, al-Hanafi, from Hafiz al-Sa'id al-Alai, from Abdurrahman al-Makki, from Abi Tahir al-Silafi, who narrates from Shaykh Muhammad bin Abdul Karim, sorry I said it, from Abu Isa bin Shadan al-Qassar al-Basri. Why I'm mentioning it, the sanad is for the barakah, for the blessings of these sheikhs, so we can hear their names and have their barakah. From Ahmad bin Sulaiman al-Najjad, from Abi Bakr ibn Abi Dunya, from Al-Hasan bin Abdul Aziz al-Jarawi, from Hikam bin Abdi, from Haywa bin Shurayh, from Uqba bin Muslim, from Abdurrahman al-Habli, from As-Sanabihi, from Mu'adh ibn Jabal radiyallahu anhu, that the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, Ya Mu'adh, O Mu'adh, Wallahi, I swear by Allah, Inni uhibbuk, I love you. وَلَا تَدَعَنَّ فِي دُبُرِ كُلِّ صَلَاةٍ, and never leave off. وَأُوصِيكَ, and I give you the advice, لَا تَدَعَنَّ فِي دُبُرِ كُلِّ صَلَاةٍ, never to leave off after each prayer, تقول, to say, Allahumma a'inni, O Allah, assist me, ala dhikrika, assist me in remembering you, wa shukrika, assist me in thanking you, wa husna ibadatik, O Allah, assist me in perfecting my ibadah. This is the riwayah as we receive it وَأَجَزْتُكُمْ, and I give it to all of you like we received it, and I will sign it just for the blessings. And why I'm doing this is that we revive this practice, because through these asanid and these sanad is when we find the spiritual gems. And the deviation, why we find extremism is because we've deviated and left off this Mubarak blessed chain link going to the Prophet. Because everything we say can be proven via this chain link. And because of that, we therefore believe irrationally from the Quran and rationally via the chain link. Whoever is strong in blessed deen, may Allah guide us all, inshallah. May Allah cover our faults. May Allah allow us to be garments for our families. May Allah forgive us for our sins. At the same time, we thank Allah for putting bread on our tables, for putting a roof over our houses. We forget to say these things. We thank Allah for bringing us together here. I thank Allah for allowing me to meet your blessed people. Everyone smiled at me when I came here. I felt at home. For the lady, Soraya Asurti, you need to show her this video that she invited me here. I apologize for not coming to the talk the other night. I'm sure they all think the Shaykh was a flop, you couldn't make it. But show them the video, maybe they find something beneficial in there. Please involve me in your functions. I would like to be involved. Maybe I can be of some benefit. Shukran for inviting me. Make a small dua. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Allahumma akhrijana min dhulumatil wahm wa akrimna bi nuril fahm waftah alayna bi ma'rifatil ilm wa sahhil akhlaqana bil hilm. That was the dua of the late Shaykh Ramadan al-Bouti. Allah grant him the highest place in the Jannah. Allah grant shifa for our beloved Shaykh Ahmad, and keep our Shaykh Seraj Ahmad close to us. Grant us success, inshallah. Forgive us for our sins and accept our du'as. And make ease for you in your homes, and remove worries and problems in your homes. And make things easy for you in your workplaces. And importantly, may Allah accept our du'as. And for those who are passed away of our families, Allah put nur in their qabr. And for our families and our parents, Allah grant them good health. And may Allah keep us in maximum respect for our families and our parents. And keep us close together. وصلى الله على آل سيدنا حبيبنا وشفيعنا وسندنا ومولانا محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وعلى آله وصحبه وبارك وسلم والحمد لله رب العالمين. الفاتحة. Let's read together. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين.